Hello all, myself Vedangi and I'm a legal intern at Lexis and Company, and my another topic for today's discussion is human trafficking laws in India. So let's begin. So human trafficking is an act or it is a practice of illegally transporting people from one country or from one area to another for the purposes of forced labor or for sexual exploitation. Human trafficking is a very serious crime and it is a very grave sort of violation of human rights. Also, sexual exploitation of the children of any country is even worse than any other offense against the children. Human trafficking can be for sexual exploitation, for bonded labor, for domestic servitude, bagging, drug peddling, forced marriage, forced criminality, child soldiers, and organ harvesting. Now, there are certain reasons, certain factors that lead to trafficking that can be either due to poverty or lack of employment opportunities, or child marriage, or false promises for job or marriage, migration, sex tourism, and even internet pornography. Also, not only women and children are the victim of human trafficking, but also in our country a large number of people that are trafficked are men. And also the number of people who are trafficked, not only they are trafficked for sex trade but also for other various kinds of servitude. Now, talking about different types of sexual exploitation of children, so this term sexual exploitation of children, it refers to the criminal practices that demean or degrade or that threaten physically and psychological integrity of the children. Also, besides the sexual crimes against women, there are certain forms of sexual exploitation of children like child prostitution, child pornography in journal or or on internet, or trafficking for sexual exploitation, or child sex tourism, and child marriages. Now, talking about the legislations that have been made in our country with respect to the human trafficking, so talking about the wide range of laws enacted by the parliament and state legislature, first of all is Constitution of India. So Article 23 of our Constitution protects against exploitation, prohibits traffic in human beings and beggar, and makes the practice punishable under the law. Article 24 protects the children below the age of 14 years from working in the factories, mines, or other hazardous employment. Talking about IPC, so there are like around 25 provisions for trafficking in IPC, but some of them are Section 366A, that inducing any minor girl under the age of 18 years to go to any such place with the intention to get forced or seduced illicit intercourse with another person is punishable. Section 366B, it talks about importing any girl under 21 years of age with the intention that she will be forced or seduced to illicit intercourse with another person is also punishable. Section 374 talks about punishing any person who unlawfully compels any person to labor against his will. Now, talking about Immoral Traffic Prevention Act 1956. So the Immoral Traffic Prevention Act 1956 is the primary legislation for the prevention of sexual exploitation for children as well as the girls. The word trafficking is defined only in the Goa Children Act 2003, which is a state law. So while the Immoral Trafficking Prevention Act 1956 is the main legislation that is related to the commercial sexual exploitation of the children, it doesn't define trafficking yet. Of the offences that have been included in this particular act are keeping in brothel or allowing premises to be used as brothel, living on the earnings of prostitution, attempting or taking any person for the sake of prostitution, detaining any person in the premises of the prostitution, and seduction of a person in custody. Now, talking about Child Labour Prohibition and Regulation Act 1986. So this act prohibits employment of children below a specific age and in certain areas, certain occupations, and it also imposes punishment for the employment of the minor children. Talking about Information Technology Act 2000, so this act basically penalizes the transmission of any such material in electronic form which is inappropriate, and also addresses the problem of pornography. Section 67A of the IT Act 2000, it punishes the publication or the transmission of material containing sexually explicit act in electronic form. And Section 68B of IT Act 2000, so it punishes publication or transmission of material depicting children in sexual explicit act in electronic form. Now after that, talking about Juvenile Justice Care and Protection of Children Act 2000. So this law is relevant for children who are vulnerable and therefore more likely to be the victim of trafficking, and therefore it is very much needed to protect and prevent the juveniles from being a victim of such offences. Goa Children Act 2003 is defined precisely in trafficking. It also includes like every type of sexual exploitation in the definition of sexual assault. The manager and the owner of the establishment, they are specifically they are responsible for the safety of the minors or children in hotel premises, and even there are strict laws on the safety of the children and also the pornographical materials publication. Now talking about the prevention of trafficking, so the human trafficking can be prevented only if there is a main focus on the areas of sensitization and the awareness in public, and also the vulnerable areas which are like responsible for creating such environment needs to be created awareness among them. What is the role of the state, the role of the NGOs, and the role of media in preventing such offences? So first of all, let's talk about the role of state. So the role of state is to promote high quality programs for teachers in government schools, and a preventive measure by different nations should be shared among the different nations so as to help them. So as to help all the countries in preventing trafficking. The role of NGOs is to keep a vigilant check on the movement of child victims of the areas. Also, they should educate and should ensure that their parents are aware about the safe migration practice. What is the role of media? So role of media is very important because of major viewership, also transmitting the appropriate message to the victim to ensure that they are not alone. Also a program to make citizens aware of the places and institutions in order if they need any sort of help if they are victimized, and also to educate them and to spread awareness regarding human trafficking, that it is an illegal act and it has negative consequences. Now talking about the conclusion part, so we can conclude that even today there is ambiguity and uncertainty in the minds of people regarding the concept of human trafficking. The government, the media, the educational institutions, the NGOs, they should need to be more active, and they should take initiative in creating awareness regarding the offenses of human trafficking, which is like very much important and essential to educate the vulnerable sections of the society. Also in India there are several provisions against human trafficking. Still there is no complete and comprehensive law which will deal with all the types of human trafficking and the protection of the victims against such offenses. So guys, that's all about my discussion on this particular topic. I hope you all liked my video. If you guys have any doubt with regard to this video or to the previous one, then you can comment in the comment section below. Also don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel Lex Click. We will meet in the next video. Till then, bye.